Like, would you say that you mostly follow the Socionics system?
Yes.
Why is that?
It's a more in-depth system, and I've got a pretty, well, I'd say first and foremost, my I guess my ultimate loyalty would be to Jung and his original sort of definitions. Now, not that I don't think that they can be improved upon, I do, but I'd say that is for sure the core. I mean, just like, everything came out of that, so it's the core of everything. It's the core of mine too. And then, just like everybody else who's gotten into this and gone down the rabbit hole, my own personal view is sort of a hodgepodge of different systems. But yeah, ultimately, I'd say Socionics has the biggest part because it is more in depth. It does explain more. It's just a more intricate, accurate system in my experience.
I'm starting to get into Socionics. I'm waiting for my results. I'm getting typed by Victor Gulenko. You know who he is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I've never been typed by him, but I do know who he is.
I'm just curious, and I want to see his write-up because Amy, I don't know if you know who she is, Amy with 2 E's, she got typed by him as an ESFP, and she said that the description was so much more accurate and complete than the typical MBTI description, which she finds like not to be true of ESFPs. So I'm curious about it. But what I've seen from Socionics is it seems to be more observably accurate rather than just theoretically accurate.
Yes.
There's a lot of systems out there that sound correct if you don't look around.
Right.
Because it's like, it's math and it lines up, but if you look around, it's not actually true. So.
Right. And it spends a lot more time with specifics. Like, this is how this will happen. This is how these types will interact. And less time going over, you're special.
Yeah, I hate that. I had a problem on social media of like constantly just going on and ripping on people, telling them that they're not special. And I'm like, people don't like these posts as much.
And that's my problem. That's my huge problem with MBTI and Isabel Myers Briggs in general. I have her book. I've read it. And the book and the test and the whole MBTI system have the same glaring issue to me, which is the words that they choose to describe specifically intuition versus sensing, super specifically introverted sensing. The words that they use, it's like, you're reading the book, you're taking the test, it's like, are you a big picture creative thinker, or are you a boring, lazy piece of shit?
Yeah.
The descriptive words they use they don't even attempt to make it objective. So what you end up with a bunch of people like me, like you, testing as intuitives wrongly.
Yeah. There's definitely also a conflation with the big five and thinking that all people who are open-minded are intuitives.
Yeah.
There.
Where are you on the big five?
I'm very high in openness, low in agreeableness, middle in neuroticism. Conscientiousness is like, it's strange. Like, the questions are like, you love rules. I'm like, I hate rules. It's like, but then I also hate disorder. So
you're all or nothing in the subcategories, aren't you?
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm very high in orderliness, but very low in whatever it is that is about the rules. I forget. And extroversion, it depends on the test. And that's a tricky one. I find that people are defining extroversion very differently wherever you go. Like, people don't agree because some have extroversion being synonymous with being social. And I don't consider myself a very social person. But others have it being that you want to interact with the external world. You want to, they have it more like SE-ish in their definition. And others, like Jordan Peterson, his test uses assertiveness and positive emotion to test, like how often do you, like how, and to what degree do you experience enthusiasm and excitement is associated with extroversion. So on his test, I score very high because I'm very assertive, but then I'm not very social. So on others, I score low.
And that's another thing I like about Socionics versus MBTI is what they do with assertion or aggression, right? Because MBTI doesn't really have a place for the aggressive component of people's personality, which is a huge part of mine.
Yeah.
But they don't really place it anywhere, so it ends up sort of falling in TE and maybe a little bit in SE, but Socionics is explicit with it. It's like, this is SE. Like, okay, well then I'm over there.
Okay. In line with aggression, are your movements aggressive?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't realize it for a long time. Somebody has to point it out to me.
Yeah. I never realized it either, but my boyfriend, his movements are not aggressive for having SE parents. They're much more stealthy. ISTPs are, they just move around quietly, but I'm like, I don't just like set the water bottle down, like I put it down and I don't even know that I'm doing it, I walk hard. I grab things hard.
I walk fast. I knew that for a long time. That one I didn't really have to be told. I noticed that when I walked through a grocery store, I mean, I part aisles like Moses in the Red Sea.
That's great.
But like just recently, I realized that I snatch things because I got a friend who started saying snatch every time she handed me something. I'd snatch it,
Yeah.
which I didn't realize I was doing until she started pointing it out. So I do that.
Yeah. Just an aggressive way of being in the world.
Right.
When I used to dance, I was good at it, but they said that like I need to be more delicate in my movements. My movements are too hard. I'm like, I can't fix that.
Yeah.
So
and that is one thing that your boyfriend and my girlfriend's an ISFP that they have that we don't, is sort of that patience and precision with their S. Like I just, like doing this body work thing, it takes a lot more patience and precision than I'm used to doing,
Yeah.
I want to just cut out a chunk of metal and glue on a chunk of metal, but that's not what you do.
Yeah. My boyfriend, his like woodworking it comes out ultimately much better than mine, but he takes a lot longer to do it because I don't have the patience for that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
She's started working on, I bought a bed frame that we didn't end up actually using. It's a big wood one, a four post thing, and she's like sanding it and restaining it or something. I don't know, she's fixing it.
Yeah.
But that sort of slow, detailed, meticulous work is just not appealing to me. I'd rather blast through a lot of stuff on full speed than one thing on slow.
So would you say that the parent function is more precise than the hero function?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least as far as SE goes.
I think also for TI. The parent function is more thoughtful. Like it takes its time. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I hadn't thought about it for across the board. I just noticed that tool SE is like there's ISTP things, right? Like I've always had a lot of ISTP friends, and there's certain things like I wired up lights in the carport, but I didn't do it. I waited for an ISTP to do it for me.
Yeah.
Hooking up the sub in my car, basically anything electric.
Your personality is unique. It's hard to find someone that understands you. Try dating using personality type matching. Find out who you're compatible with using Myers Briggs and Big 5 personality scores. Download TypeMatch and start dating by personality type compatibility today. TypeMatch, available on App Store and Play Store.